Welcome to the Pop Cult Pod, where we're crazy for film, television, video games, and much, much more. I'm your cult leader, Tompott, and thank you for joining us from the Pop Cult compound. Anyway, I just saw the Lego. Oh my god.
God, it's one of the stars of the Lego movie too. I can't believe he's coming in here. Oh my god. Oh, he's kind of walking a bit. Oh, he's walking a little weird. He's coming. Oh, he's coming over. God. Shh. See? Oh my god, he's absolutely pissed. He's so drunk. Man, guess the success of the first movie went to his head. You okay? Hey, man, you okay?
This is why I don't have famous people on the show. It's the only reason why. They just keep showing up drunk. Oh well.
A lifetime has passed since the horrific events of Taco Tuesday. Our lives descended into chaos. This new life has toughened and hardened us all.
2 coffees, please. 1 black, 1 with just a touch of cream and 25 sugars.
Well, toughened most of us.
I just saw the Lego movie. What the hell? This is my backdrop? I've seen other movie YouTubers, they have red backdrops or green screens. This is what I have? Seriously, we can't get like a poster of the movie, some art, something in the background, something nice. We just doubled our production budget. No, I'm legit. Wait. It's backwards. I know the focus. The Lego man's not even. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome. And I'm back. Just like that. Back in my happy place. Okay. So I just saw the Lego Movie Part 2. The Lego Movie 2. The second part. More accurately. And word on the street, the kind of general buzz is that this movie is lesser than the original. And yeah, it is. But that's still not too much of a slam against it. It's not entirely unexpected. The first movie was so unpredictable when it came out. I don't think anyone had high hopes or standards for a Lego movie. And it seemed like corporate cash grab. But now it's like proper. And it really feels like, even though this is a step down, it's still miles ahead of most kids' films. If you know what I'm saying. So, it's always going to be hard to capture lightning in the bottle twice. I'm surprised they caught it in the bottle once with the first Lego movie. And what I was most curious about going into this movie was, since we now know the real world, Lego world kind of relationship after the first movie, how it was going to embrace that, and whether it was kind of a game breaking element after the first film. And actually, rather than kind of shying away from that, it embraces it, and that's the strongest part of the movie, in my opinion. Seeing the relationship between the real world and how the Lego world and how that reacts. So let me go back a little bit before I say anything, because I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So the basic plot of this was, it picks up exactly where the last movie ended, where Duplo invades the world, and then it jumps to 5 years later, where we're left with this post-apocalyptic kind of environment after Duplo's invasion. And, you know, I don't want to go into too much beyond that, but obviously, to anyone who's seen the first film, essentially this is a kind of a metaphorical world where we're looking really at a relationship between a brother and sister trying to learn to play together. And obviously the boys' toys is represented by traditional Lego, and the girls' toys is Duplo and Lego Friends, I think it's called, which are like the weirder, more realistic Lego. And it's how those interact. Now, a lot of the trailer and a lot of the marketing for this is kind of doubling down the apocalyptic vibe. And in my opinion, thankfully, the film isn't too focused on that. In fact, I thought that was the weakest part of the film. So I was very glad when I moved on from that, because it goes on to a kind of an intergalactic meta adventure, for lack of a better word. And that's when the movie is at its most fun, in my opinion. So, as I said, the real world part is the strongest aspect of this movie. I don't want to go into too depth, I don't want to ruin some of the surprises or that kind of thing, but like, say for example in the first one you had the Kraglin was crazy glue because of some glue over the label, so they knew the scraggling. There's other things like that in this movie that I thought were quite creative and quite funny. So we have like they're all worried about the our mom again, which is obviously going to be something to do with the mother. We have the star system, which is the sisters' world with all the Lego and that kind of thing. So it's really it's a simple idea, but it's effective and quite relatable. And that kind of goes for the story in general about a boy and his sister trying to play together. It's something I think most people can relate to, especially anyone with a sibling. And then probably there's a few of the weaker aspects. Like overall, it is really good. It is pretty good. Not obviously on par with the first film. Lord Miller are back to write it again. They didn't direct this one, but overall the film might be a bit less funny. That's at least what I thought. And especially Lego Batman, I thought was a bit of a letdown, especially considering he stole the show in the last film. But he still does have some highlights, which is good. I think one of the weaknesses of the humor in this is that it goes to the same well too often. There's a lot of those jokes of, oh, this cute Duplo, but oh, it's menacing. Like you have all these love hearts that are like, I love you, that kind of stuff, and it gets a bit old. And another thing they kind of go back to too often, I thought, was the cut between the real world and the Lego world for humor. You know how that works? Like something that looks massive and epic in the Lego world, and then you cut and it'll be obviously such a letdown when you see in the real world. Now, there are sometimes it really works. Like there's a fight between two Lego characters, which we see in the real world, which was pretty funny. It's kind of reminded me of Team America actually, with that kind of fighting. But you know, it is still quite strong, and I'm glad they embraced the real world aspect instead of shying away from it. Like maybe a simpler film would have. They might have just been like, that's really complex to work out. It does also kind of at times beg you to think of, how is this working in the real world? And for the most part, I think the movie covers its bases with that, which is good. Now, on the other problem though, on that side is that when you are overthinking it, I think some of the plot points, there's especially one kind of twist and revelation about a character, where I think when you use that real world idea, it doesn't hold up to scrutiny. So, you know, there's positive and negatives to doing things that way. And another part that I thought it doubled down on is the songs, because of course everyone remembers Everything Is Awesome from the original movie, and was it Darkness No Parents, the Batman song. This movie has, I think, way more songs, definitely more noticeable. We have Everything Is Not Awesome, which is hilariously depressing and a downer. You know, references to Radiohead and Elliott Smith, which was pretty funny. And we have This Song's Gonna Get Stuck Inside Your Head, which is kind of what they're pushing as the Everything Is Awesome of this movie. It's kind of not, but it's they're trying to get that catchy, addictive song, and it works. It's pretty funny, and it does get stuck in your head, which I guess is the most important thing. There's the Not Evil song that's sung by our Tiffany Haddish's character, Princess What I Want to Be. You know, again, there's a lot of wordplay in this movie, which is quite strong. And it's a great kind of a twist on the villain song. And there's a lot of revelations in the movie that I find quite interesting, especially when you look back at that song. And another song that actually isn't getting as much probably attention because it plays over the end credits is Lonely Island, did a song about the credits and actors, which is, again, as meta and as humorous as you would expect in this movie. The voice cast, Chris Pratt is now pulling double duty as Emmett and Rex Dangervest, which is kind of poking fun at himself. So, you know, fair play to him for that. I mean, I say fair play to him. He's enough going on as well. I'm sure he doesn't mind a few jabs at himself. Yeah, I don't know what that was. But it's humorous. It's funny that he kind of is happy to rip himself a little bit. And the new characters are quite interesting as well. So that's a good thing. As far as the cameos go, I thought it was a bit less interesting than the last one. The last one seemed to have a lot of cameos. This one less so. Maybe it's just the effect is a bit lessened a bit. It seems more like a corporate move of have all the Warner Brother properties. And I felt that I noticed that a bit watching Lego Batman as well. This time I thought it was more noticeable. The DC characters are still really funny. Obviously the Superman Green Lantern stuff was great. There's a few kind of jokes at the DC universe, which is pretty fun. And there's a Marvel joke in there which was fantastic. And actually, though, if I had to say there was one, if there's any joke in the movie that got killed, was there's a joke about Die Hard in there, which is fantastic, which I'm sure it was not for any kids in the audience because they probably don't know much about it. But there you go. So yeah, overall, in closing, this film it's strong, and it isn't as strong as the first film. Quite obviously, it's not as surprising as the first film, but it's compared to other kids' films, it's head and shoulders above them. This franchise is more ambitious certainly from a narrative perspective, and it's more entertaining. And as long as you have a franchise that is pushing the envelope like that, I think it should be supported. This is still a fantastic movie, entertaining, pretty clever for the most part. And I couldn't help but think what comes next. What would be the next entry of this? So like, how do you get Bionicle in there? Like, is this kid going to get older? Is he going to move away from Lego? And that's what I'm interested in. And imagine if someone had told me a few years ago that I'd have any interest in a Lego movie, let alone a Lego franchise. I wouldn't have believed them. So there you go. That's all I have to say on the Lego movie. So if you enjoy what I had to say, please comment below. Maybe you didn't like the movie. Maybe you liked it more than I did. You can like and comment, subscribe. I also do a podcast which you can find here. Let's see if it appears here. And I'm going to be talking about Lego Movie a bit more, Alita Battle Angel, the week's news, and a feature called the Pop Cult Pod. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud, or in the link below, or here on YouTube. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.